Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel, and I don't even know how I'm going to be able to sleep tonight. I'm just so worked up. There's an XRP killer out there. How will I go on from day to day knowing that demise is what awaits me? And XRP. No, no. But look at this headline. Ripple lurks as R3 and Finality, aka XRP killer, power new FX swaps platform. Ah, yes, XRP killer. Straight up gangsta. No, it's not going to happen. And so I'm going to just completely tear this to shreds because this concept belongs in the Moon Lambo wood chipper. So I'm going to fix the problem. Fear not. But look, these articles, there have been articles like this. There's been no shortage of them over the last 3.5 years that I've been in the space, but I guess it has been a hot minute since I've seen one of them, but here you go. So is XRP already obsolete? Should we all just take our ball and go home? No, and I will explain why. But I do want to be clear, I don't have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys talking about Ripple and XRP and crypto-related topics and making YouTube videos like that. That's all that's going on here, damn it. Just want to be fully transparent there. And so I came across this article thanks to Bank XRP, who is a member of the XRP community on Twitter, and I saw a comment in response to Bank XRP sharing this. And this comment was spot on. And it delivers the message that I've been conveying on this topic ever since, I don't know, almost the beginning time. As soon as I understand it, I started talking about it even on Twitter. So certainly no later than February of 2018, because I wrote a blog about it in February of 2018. Hasn't changed because the problems are still out there and they're still being ignored by like really 100% of Ripple's competitors. They don't have a solution to the core problem, which is settlement. Payment and settlement are different, and I can talk more about that too. But here's the tweet, and I love this tweet. It's from Panos, P-A-N-O-S, wrote, "I have lost the count of the XRP killers the last 5 years. These people still don't understand what XRP really does and is solving. If you don't have a neutral, open, decentralized bridge currency with advanced tech, liquidity, and more, you can't even claim to be a competitor." And that was so spot on to exactly what my message has been for years. I was impressed, and so I wanted to highlight it. Like, well worded, sir. That's absolutely spot on. Because no matter how sufficiently advanced their technology is, which I'm going to run through in this article, no matter how sufficiently advanced, they're not solving for the core issue of trust, and thus their solution cannot be a global solution. Now, it doesn't mean that they can't find some monicum of success, just being in a closed network, fine, but they cannot be a global solution, period. This is not a problem for XRP that is solving a global settlement problem. And so let's jump in. Finality has been dubbed XRP killer. It was founded to create a cross-border settlement framework among participating banks that will utilize a fiat-pegged currency. And already right there, fiat-pegged currency, that should tell you right there you've got a problem. Because you have to understand this. If you're talking about a central bank digital currency or just a regular bank coin, right? Understand that if they are just mere representations of an underlying fiat currency like the United States dollar, the same monetary policy, first of all, still governs it. And in terms of being able to move money, or like utilize even if it were a central bank digital currency of the dollar, it doesn't matter. In this case, this particular coin is called the utility settlement coin. And so if it's this, it's backed by fiat currency, which means that, you guessed it, fiat currency must be held in order to facilitate these transactions. And so that's a core problem with the legacy financial system. And that's why XRP is so beautifully situated as a bridge currency, because right now you have money sitting in Nostra Vostra accounts, with Nostra meaning my money in your account, and Vostra meaning your money in my account. So you have banks that have developed relationships, they get to know each other, which usually takes upwards of a year if it's a new relationship, and then they'll hold money in each other's banks to help facilitate the trust there. And so that money has to be there dormant just in case it's used, it needed to be used to be tapped into to facilitate these cross-border transactions. So there's a cost to having dormant capital, and that's just one of the many problems here. And so having it pegged to the dollar, you're not solving, or any fiat currency, you're actually not solving the broader problem of trust, because you're never going to get every bank the world over and every remittance firm the world over to hold your currency, and you're never going to get to a situation where you trust. Because mind you, with the SWIFT system, which is what Ripple's seeking to overtake, that's the legacy financial system, there are over 11,000 financial institutions, 11,000 of them. Okay, so if you're a remittance firm and you're starting up, how are you going to build relationships with 11,000 of them? Well, you're not going to, which is why XRP is so beautifully positioned as a solution. Because understand, the way it works today, and I'll just use a very quick, simple explanation for anybody that's new that may not be aware of like how XRP works as a bridge currency. So let's say you're a customer of a remittance firm in the United States, and you want to send money to your family in Mexico, which is something that's happening in the real world, right? Well, and this, what I'm going to describe, it's all automated, but effectively XRP would be purchased by the remittance firm on a cryptocurrency exchange in the United States. That XRP is then moved cross borders to a different cryptocurrency exchange in Mexico. And then from there, you can cash out into the Mexican peso. And so at the other end, the intended recipient will get the fiat currency that they want. And this is all done in real time, because the XRP ledger, it closes in 3 to 5 seconds, right? 3 to 5 seconds. Then there can be additional time depending on how long the software takes with the local rails, and I get that, fine. But it's effectively real time. And this is an actual real world solution. So in this instance, you don't need to trust 11,000 different remittance firms and banks. You don't. You know what you need to trust effectively? Like market makers. Like that's effectively it, because the RippleNet, it's basically an efficient path-seeking algorithm. And so if you're on RippleNet, you plug into the pools of liquidity, which are the market makers, which are the cryptocurrency exchanges. That's what they are, right? And so because XRP is already being sold on those platforms, you don't have to have dormant capital, and you don't have to have a relationship with all of these banks. All you have to do is just plug into the liquidity. That's it. You've removed the hurdle, because people are already selling XRP. And so the XRP that you're selling, it could be snatched up by on-demand liquidity, that's Ripple's product, and then it could go to facilitate one of these cross-border transactions, and you'd be none the wiser. All you'll know is that there's some unnamed buyer that purchased your XRP. And that solves the issue. But in the legacy financial system, that's not the case. And so what's happening here is there are, like they cited here, 11 banks in this closed network. These 11 banks in this closed network can settle efficiently. But it's also true, though. If you have a relationship with a bank, like even before blockchain technology existed with the legacy financial system, if you have an existing relationship with a bank, you can settle pretty darn efficiently. But that's not what we're talking about. The issue is trust. You can't trust everybody. Yes, of course you can settle efficiently with anyone that you trust and you have Nostra Vostra accounts, pre-funded accounts. Of course you can. And so right here, this is no different. You've got 11 banks out of over 11,000 financial institutions on the world, and they've got a walled garden. That's it. How are you 11 banks, going to get the other 11,000 or so out there that aren't part of this to jump into your pool? Or is it more likely that competing banks are going to see this happening and create their own walled gardens? Because we're already seeing that unfold today. And so this is not a global solution. These walled gardens don't just magically connect to one another, right? So this is not a global solution. It's a solution for those that are within the network. Just like before any of this existed, if two banks had a relationship, they can already settle pretty gosh darn efficiently. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the fact that you don't know everybody else, and you don't know what remittance firms and banks you're going to have to connect with, because you don't know what customers you're going to have come along that are going to need to connect with those firms and remittance companies, those banks and those remittance companies, right? That's the problem, right? And so this does not solve for the issue of trust, period, right? And so it doesn't matter if you're utilizing if you want to even call it a cryptocurrency. In this case, it's a bank coin that's backed by fiat currency. It's a new evolution technologically with the exact same shortcomings pertaining to trust and pre-funding being required, because the money has to be held somewhere. Because understand that these coins, like this utility settlement coin that they talk about in this article, where does it get its price from? Where does it get its value? Well, its price, it's not traded on open markets. You can't buy the utility settlement coin. It's not openly determined. It's pegged to fiat currency. So that's where it gets its price. It's worth whatever the underlying fiat currency is. Which, frankly, so this makes it not just some sort of asset, it makes it a liability, frankly. And so the article reads as follows. 11 banks are working together to test a distributed ledger technology-based platform for intraday FX swaps, foreign exchange swaps, a market worth $3.2 trillion in daily volume, which traditionally operates overnight. And by the way, I should mention this too. Sometimes when you talk about markets that XRP could be used in, people have this false idea that however big the market is, in this case $3.2 trillion, that XRP can just come in and swoop in and get a huge percentage of the market share. But I think that people are looking at it wrong. It's not that XRP would get that and then that market share just like flows to the price of XRP. That is not how this works. You've got to be realized. We're talking about the amount of money moving within a market. And as it pertains to XRP, it's just being openly traded and compared to other cryptocurrencies on cryptocurrency exchanges. And so it's not as if you're a company that's competing with another company directly trying to take their direct customers. That's not exactly how this works. That doesn't just mean that the price increase, even if you get it, it doesn't mean it flows into XRP. That is not how it works. People are speculating on it. That creates a blend of price and liquidity. And because there's a sufficient blend of price and liquidity, or at least where there is, that's where you can use XRP to facilitate these transactions as a bridge currency. But it's not the case that it just comes in and it suddenly, oh, this market's big. Well, if XRP gets 100% of it, it will have a $3.2 trillion market cap. No. That isn't. They're talking about the amount of money moving. That doesn't mean that the market cap of XRP becomes that or some percentage of that if it is utilized for whatever the percentage may be. Just to be clear, I hope that wasn't too complex a way of describing the idea that I'm trying to get through. If that was too sloppy and you don't know what I'm talking about, then tell me in the comment section at least. But hopefully it's clear enough. But anyway, moving on. A DLT-based intraday FX swaps platform should allow treasury teams to borrow for hours at a time, enabling them to efficiently meet a temporary liquidity need. The technology change not only helps to optimize intraday liquidity buffers, but it also offers an opportunity to lend excess funds, representing a new revenue stream. The trial had banks engaging in simulated trading and discussion sessions, having executed 76 intraday FX swap transactions based on 66 orders in a central limit order book and 69 bilateral RFQs, which would be request for quote, in one of the hour-long simulated trading sessions. And so look, again, to be clear, I'm not saying that the participants in this closed network won't see a benefit. I suspect if this runs as is publicly understood, at least at this point, one would think it would be helpful. But that doesn't mean that this is a global solution. In fact, this is frankly deeply misguided, which is phrasing that I've hijacked from Brad Garlinghouse, Ripple CEO. It's deeply misguided because you're recreating ultimately a lot of the same friction over and over again because you're never going to have a sufficiently large network. Anyway, the project is expected to go live later this year or early 2022. Brian Nolan, co-founder of Fintium, said, quote, "We are excited for the next phase of development. The engagement and feedback from the banks during the trial were very encouraging. It reinforces the value the initiative can offer to banks across all geographies." So I would say that last part's a little bit bold. Banks across all geographies, except that's a closed system, and you're never going to get everybody inside of your walled garden. It's never going to happen. Excuse me. I think back to when I was younger. Like the internet, it wasn't what it is today. So if you're young enough, you're not going to know what the hell I'm talking about. But anybody my age or older will probably get it. And I'm 38 now. And so when I was a teenager, I had there was a platform that it was a walled garden. It was called Prodigy. And it was competing with others. Like there's another one called CompuServe. There's another called AOL, America Online. Hopefully, even if you're young, you've at least heard of that. I hope so, kind of. But anyway, all of my friends They were on America Online, and then my parents, for whatever reason, they selected that Prodigy, and I actually could not email my friends. I kid you not. It was like coming up on probably the mid 90s. I couldn't email my friends because that functionality didn't exist from platform to platform. So you just take for granted now, you've got a protocol that's universal and you can just email anyone on any platform. You actually couldn't back then. So I'm sounding probably very old-timey right now. Okay, but ultimately what did happen? Well, the internet evolved, and the internet really, it's a network of networks, with TCP/IP just being the glue of that. But having something that's open like that, of course, you look back, of course it won out against the walled gardens. There are only so many participants within the Prodigy platform, which was like its own little miniature network. Like it was a network, so it's its own little miniature internet, sort of, just like AOL was, just like CompuServe was. But you're never going to get everybody on the planet in your little walled garden. Well, similarly, conceptually here, you're never going to get everybody inside your little closed system here. But if you do want to alleviate the issue of trust, all you have to do, rather than trust everybody, if you're on RippleNet, like the trust issue's gone. Other than what you trust that software that Ripple networks and that it plugs sufficiently into cryptocurrency exchanges. I mean, if you have to trust a handful of cryptocurrency exchanges the world over, that's a lot better than having to trust 11,000 banks and remittance companies, don't you think? I sure as hell do. So then they write here, Finality has been dubbed XRP Killer. It was founded to create a cross-border settlement framework among participating banks that will utilize a fiat-pegged cryptocurrency. Yeah, so key terms, among participating banks, of which there are 11 out of over 11,000. So look, I'm just saying. And then they write, the blockchain firm sits in the middle of the transaction flow process using its utility settlement coin, a lot like Ripple's XRP, which is comical to me because it's not like XRP at all. They shouldn't call it Ripple's XRP. Unless you're referencing that XRP which Ripple holds, it's not Ripple's XRP. Ripple holds a bunch of XRP, but they do not have any special permissions over the blockchain. And it is not functionally similar to utility settlement coin, other than fine. Of course, cede the point. Sure, it's a bridge, but it has no other similarities whatsoever. None. It really doesn't. XRP isn't backed by anything. It just has an open market price, just like gold has an open market price. Just like the dollar relative to other assets, it has its own open market price relative to other assets. Because whether you're talking about gold, or you're talking about the United States dollar, or fiat currency, any fiat currency, or XRP, these are trust systems. They're worth whatever people say they're worth, all of them, right? And that's the way that it works. But if you're saying that your cryptocurrency or utility settlement coin is backed by a fiat currency, you're not even close to a global solution. And that's why it's so neat. And as far as XRP, it's the only cryptocurrency that is being positioned for this use case as a global bridge currency. There's no other coin that's being positioned for this, and it's used today in enterprise grade software. It's astonishing. There's no one else even trying this. And so until I see somebody else even trying to solve the solution, trying to solve the problem, the global problem, I'm just like, okay, good luck. Good luck. You're going to need it. I'll go ahead and wrap up there. Hopefully I sufficiently ran through everything that I wanted to. If anybody has any questions or wasn't clear enough anything, let me know. But this is a good stopping point. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because if anything I say or write, that would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.